Exclusive contract novel from Feilu Novel Network. Voyage. My Fierce Beast Gluttony, sister Four Emperors Lingling, Asa travels through the world of pirates, eats the gluttonous fruit of the phantom beast seed, and becomes a foodie just like his sister who suffers from anorexia. Unfortunately, before they grow up, the two are exiled. Suo Xin grows rapidly. Especially as a glutton, Asa not only possesses the power of the four fierce beasts, but also possesses all the qualities of swallowing fruits. Fei Lu in the belly. Whales devour all things. When devouring people, can obtain object memory, vitality, spiritual power, bloodline, everything. Even able to peel off fruits and collect various tools to create incredible super treasures. Combined with the soul power of my sister, personify the treasure an unprecedented Charlotte family was born through the close cooperation of siblings. As they set sail, their deeds also touched the sea. Locks. The innate strength of those foodie siblings, even I don't have any intention of recruiting them. Warring states period. If they participate in the war in the Valley of God, there's no need to fight. White beard. Gullah, are these enviable siblings really just siblings? Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 001, Sister. Home of the Lamb. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The year 1459 in the Yewang calendar. Forest Island, New Lamb home. It's been a year now. A boy holding a dog-tail grass lying on his back on the newly built roof said, throwing aside Lingling's previous fasting day, "Is it still stable?" Suddenly, his thoughts were interrupted by a burst of laughter and joy below. Hee hee ha. Wait for me. Lingling is going to kill me. Wait for me. Brother, you're also with me. Lingling, Brother Asa can't run, otherwise he would be hungry again. Haha. On the open grassland, there are children who have been taken in, from various races such as the Fishman race, the Long-Handed race, the Pandaren race, the Fur race, almost all of them. There are also those with special identities, such as the little prince who was hunted down. Of course, the most special one is a giant toddler with pink hair and a height of 3 to 4 meters. She was brimming with a smile and a face full of innocence. Judging solely from one's demeanor, it may truly be harmless to humans and animals, only those who understand. Only then did I realize how terrifying it was. Her name is Charlotte Lingling. Also Asa's biological sister on the roof a year ago, both of them were abandoned. Lingling was caused by excessive physical development and damage to her hometown. Asa, it's even more serious. Not only does he have a large appetite, but also people have seen him transform into a demon and commit intolerable acts. Even if it's a new world. There is no shortage of ignorant people. Asa had no idea about it. He also has one identity, a traveler. As for turning into a monster, it's pure nonsense. The real situation is that Asa ate the fruits of cows, the mythical beast species, and the gluttonous form devil fruit. Or is it the fruit of everyone? Who knows? At that time, I didn't control it well and scared many people. Speaking of time travel, Asa was born 6 years ago in this world, with his sister Lingling as twins. Well, Asa's sister is Charlotte Lingling. The famous future establish a utopia of pirates, the only woman among the four emperors. The strongest woman recognized on the sea. Big Mom, born with a constitution different from that of ordinary people, with copper tendons and iron bones, born with divine power. I was invincible in my childhood. Even if you don't practice, lying down can make you stronger. It's a real cheater. Unfortunately, as a twin brother, Asa did not have this talent as he grew older. But there is also a mutation, which is seeing, hearing, and seeing. He was born, you can read the voices of others and engage in spiritual communication, and this as we age, we are still strengthening. As for perception of emotions, perception of danger, an enemy location. I won't go into these basic functions, all are basic exercises. What truly surprised Asa, the traveler, was his speed of seeing and hearing color changes. Until now, he is already able to forcefully distort his personal will. Reading other people's memories, even briefly predict to the future. Such talent is not uncommon. But it doesn't even exist. Unprecedented. If placed outside, it would be a sensational level. After all, seeing and hearing about color, even if it is a top-level existence, it can only reach this level at most. Even worse, because Asa is too comprehensive, gathering all the derivative directions of seeing, hearing, and color, truly the top. Perhaps, you can also surpass him in terms of dominance. Such talent, compared to my younger sister, is naturally not inferior at all. Not to mention when he was just 5 years old, Asa also ate gluttonous fruits to make up for his physical weakness. Must I say, the only flaw? It's probably, appetite. This is nothing, those guys from Luffy don't have much appetite. Speaking of which, come back, a tall tree catches the wind, and Asa has not actively exposed these abilities before gaining decisive power. That will only attract onlookers. At present, in this vast sea, one cannot be too careful. To get to the point, Asa's abnormality, combined with Lingling's anorexia, led to the outbreak of a dual contradiction. As a result, the two were naturally sent to Elbaf, and then adopted by nuns in this year. Asa not only takes care of his sister, but also instills personal values. Guide correctly. Silently accumulating strength. Although, gluttony, as the four fierce beasts in mythology, they have unlimited potential, but no matter how strong it also requires time for growth and development. Children. At this moment, a gentle old lady's voice called out to everyone, and upon hearing this, everyone obediently gathered together. Except for Asa, he is still on the roof. Very unique. The nun smiled and didn't pay attention. After looking back, she only said that she wanted to go out and said, "So. Then please take care of the house. I will clean the toilet well. I'm responsible for washing clothes. Lingling will protect everyone. When can she come back?" Although they are all children, the members of the Lamb House have a clear division of labor. After shopping, I'll be back right away. The nun's smile remained unchanged and her expression was incredibly soft. What gift do you want? Hearing politeness, the children are all extremely excited. Strawberry cake. Playing cards. I want a martial arts set. Upon hearing this, the nun nodded with a fake smile and said, I know, and what about Asa? She looked up high. Brother. Lingling also waved happily at the roof and said, I know, it must be a lot of food, right? The above responded casually. What an introverted child. The nun smiled and shook her head, so Asa, you need to be on the roof, keep an eye on everyone. After speaking, she turned around amidst the children's waving. No one noticed the moment she turned around, her gentle expression changed instantly, becoming gloomy and greedy. Except for one person, Asa. He constantly releases his emotions, and any emotional fluctuations cannot escape perception. Nature includes nuns. Finally. Is it time for the showdown? Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 002, born to see and hear colors. Mutation talent. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Forest Island, on the shore of the island. A ship belonging to the world government is moored here. The flag above fluttered in the wind, as if gazing at something from afar. Dada. Not long after, a person emerged from the forest. She boarded the ship, pushed open the hatch, and was very familiar with the process, obviously coming more than once. Very punctual. Sister Carmelo. In the dimly lit cabin, there was a round table waiting for 2 people, with 1 sitting. All are standard accessories with masks and white clothes. 3 people are exactly CP0. From, full name Cypherpol. Aegis 0. Known as the world's strongest espionage agency. Of course, have I ever broken a promise? Galmero walked down the stairs. Let's get down to business now. She approached the round table, throwing out a stack of photos. There were clearly adopted children, including Lingling and Asa. I have great children here. You are willing to leave Albath at all costs. The CPO, who was sitting, spoke in a somewhat unexpected tone. The girl you don't want to give up either. Well, since I have understood. Then think carefully, the only person who can destroy half of the village of Albath at the age of 5. Galmero sat down and took out his cigarette. Little son Homitz drilled out his clothes and ignited them. CP0 is a bit hesitant. However, this price. You can't possibly not come up with it, can you? If you were in the Navy, you would be at the level of general and marshal in the future. The nun didn't care at all. She knew that the world government couldn't spare this genius. If we send CP, it will become the strongest shield of the Tianlong people. This is the best product I've ever bought and sold for children in 50 years. She spat out a thick mist. The giant clan is their own matchmaker, which is why there was the first giant navy, the same on the world government side. She has also sent many qualified individuals. Among human traffickers, she is considered the most successful in this transaction, even if it is successful and she withdraws. Unfortunately, as human traffickers, no one will award medals. What are you still thinking? It's not easy for me to be the virgin. Seeing CP0 still hesitating, she stood up directly, intending to spit. All right, in terms of money, I will come up with a solution. CP0 couldn't stand this, so the topic shifted and directly drew another photo. This boy is her brother, isn't he? As a biological brother and sister, there must be something extraordinary about him. How much do you know? Asa. Galmero's eyes turned slightly, pondered for a moment, and his red lips parted. A very precocious child, as for his special abilities, seems to be able to anticipate danger in advance. She tried her best to raise the price. After all, it was the last order. Seeing and hearing the color. The 2 companions behind CP0 exchanged a glance. At the age of 6, it is very rare to see and see without exercise. Think about them, when did they awaken? It's impossible to compare at all. If cultivated well, become a top-notch expert in knowledge and color. It's not impossible. Oh. Sitting CP0 also felt an unexpected joy. Compared to Lingling, who is unstable and also has anorexia. Spy organizations naturally prefer those that are easier to control. If confirmed. This kind of qualification, looking at the entire new world, is also superior. And those who are good at seeing and hearing colors are the most suitable for hiding. It's perfect for their CP. Don't worry. Galmero smiled and looked back. I will personally deliver them to you, siblings. I will never be disappointed. It's best. Both parties shake hands and the transaction is completed. Finally, it was agreed to send a naval ship to receive it the next day. Galmero got off the boat, smoked several cigarettes, and was satisfied before stepping into the forest ahead. Yes, in order to maintain their image, they rarely smoke in front of children unless they can't help it. The person was set up very well. I didn't expect that Asa kid could bring me extra benefits. Galmero felt quite regretful and said, if I had known earlier, I would have blown it up a bit. Asa's ability to foresee danger was not very important to her, as she had seen it by chance and thought it was an accident. I didn't expect CP0 to be highly valued, but unfortunately. It's a pity. After all, this is the last business deal. You made me sound so weak. but you lost a lot of money. Suddenly, a childish voice sounded not far away. Galmero paused in his footsteps. Suddenly turned around, seeing a face standing next to a giant tree with hands clasped around his chest, he said with great familiarity, Asa. Asa. Child. Galmero's mouth was a bit stiff and his mental state was good. He quickly regained his face and said, "How could you be here? How could you run out alone? It's very dangerous outside." Asa didn't speak, just listened quietly, waiting for her to finish speaking. And Galmero. Laughing and explaining a lot, I hoarse my throat, but when I saw Asa, I still turned a deaf ear. Even a hint of laughter. She took a deep breath and didn't intend to pretend anymore. This little devil, it's not easy. When exactly is it discovered? If I were on the ship just now, how did you eavesdrop again? Moreover, even the CP0 who is best at this skill cannot be detected. Galmero couldn't figure it out. Child. I'm also doing it for your good. The Navy and the world government are both just organizations. Galmero didn't think much at all, both inside and outside, hoping to gain understanding. And I also need money to maintain goodwill. After all, the Virgin also needs to eat. So. Asa put one hand in his pocket and was not surrounded by her. Those children who couldn't sell in the end and didn't have the qualifications. Where have they all gone? As soon as these words were spoken, Galmero hesitated for a moment. Immediately, I leaned on my forehead with one hand, feeling very helpless and unwilling to continue explaining. It seems that you can't understand the good intentions, child, she said just as she finished speaking. A burst of hot flames shot up from behind Asa. Hoo. It's the little sun, Homets. Pandora, hanging in mid-air, it spat a pillar of fire fiercely at Asa. Put in some effort. No matter how good the product is, it's not worth it if it's destroyed, Galmero revealed in his true form. Bang. Meanwhile, a muddy burning sound sounded, but unfortunately, before the flames dissipated, there were no people in the original place. When Galmero calms down and sees clearly. Asa had already flickered into mid-air, gripping the burning Pandora with one hand, his palms turning black. Xiaoqiang. Steel chirping, with the veins bulging, under the power of Asa, Pandora began to twist. Sister. Sister. It howled out in agony. Dong. Before Galmero could react, Pandora suddenly burst into flames. As soul fragments dissipate into the air. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 003 The Two Sides of Our Lady. The Power of Gluttony. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What's going on here? Pandora. The attack failed, and Galmero's face quickly turned pale. I don't know either, is it because Pandora's soul was torn apart, causing a backlash? Galmero was amazed. Both speed and strength are impossible, it's something that a little devil can unleash. And her Pandora. Fearless of any physical attack. This Asa, how many things are actually hidden? Armed and domineering, haven't you seen it before? It's not enough for cultivation. My lady. Asa landed in an inexplicable tone. Subsequently, her face gradually turned grim, becoming more and more like an old witch, and she couldn't help but sigh. First of all, thank you for taking care of Lingling over the past year and bringing joy to her. I built a shelter for those little ghosts. Unfortunately, children only talk about good and bad, while adults only focus on benefits. Unfortunately, they are a bit greedy. They reach out to people you cannot control. For example, his sister. You're quite old-fashioned when you talk. Galmero said to himself, as if the two were not on the same channel. But it's okay, you must have some secrets on you who surprised me. In this way, I can also sell higher chips. After she figured it out, she quickly smiled and said, Kid, Pandora, it's not all about me. Do you still remember the magic I did for you? Speaking, Galmero spread out his hands and scattered a little light, blending into the flowers, plants, and trees. Asa's starry eyes flickered slightly. It seems that we can't make progress, so there's nothing we can do. Shoo. Sister. Sister. Baby sounds rang out one after another, surrounding plants and trees grow faces, transforming into elves. Humanized trees also extend vines and poke towards Asa. Meanwhile, Galmero himself was not idle. When the dagger is drawn, a cold light will appear. I should have thought that Charlotte Lingling is such a monster, and her own brother, how could she be an ordinary person? It's impossible at all. Galmero completely put aside his petty mentality. Now, make a few stabs and try the water. The stronger the strength, the higher the value. Wow. Galmero clenched his dagger and took a step. But in the next moment, she noticed clusters of purple-black mist rising from Asa's center, attached to the ground and spreading dozens of meters away in an instant. ZZZZ. Extremely strong suction, accompanied by intense corrosive explosions. Galmero stepped on the purple mist, as if stepping on a swamp, sinking instantly in still burning. Keep smoking. When Carmelo perceives pain in his legs and subconsciously is about to scream out loud. Purple mist appeared with both hands, tightly covering her lips at the right time. Finally, her eyes were filled with disbelief. Only struggling movements remain. Don't you know? Why was I expelled from my hometown with Lingling? Asa was dragged by the purple mist and came to the nun's face. His right hand turned into a claw, and his palm broke into the mouth of a fierce beast. The newborn fangs are incredibly sharp. Let Carmelo feel unprecedented fear. Because they saw my other side now, Asa smiled with a hint of evil intent. Gluttonous gluttony, it is the leader of the four ferocious beasts, and this is a version. Legend has it that the Yellow Emperor fought against Chiyu, who was beheaded and his head turned into a glutton. Other versions include the son of the Jinyun family. What else do dragons have 9 offspring? But without exception, they all have the ability to overeat, and Asa felt it most directly. He also divided abilities into 3 categories. One of them is, Rot Mist, condensed from the ferocious aura. It assists in dominance and not only has the power to incinerate steel, but also has a strong attraction to devour. In the future, if we can activate ghost energy. Like Barret and Sauron, their power is expected to rise by 1 level. Continue, except for not being able to render the target character's abilities ineffective, the basic dark fruit characteristics are similar. It can do it. Asa can do it too. It can even release pure energy waves. After all, it can be eaten and vomited. Besides the above, there is also a bit of idealism. As long as Asa becomes more greedy, the intensity of this fog will be higher. Similar to the indestructible Luffy, relying on faith, he can climb up time and time again amidst laughter and joy. Related to spiritual will secondly, the anthropomorphization and animalization of animal systems. The most significant increase in physical fitness. This is a basic exercise, with recovery, defense, and other abilities at the top of the pet species. However, Asa is too young to keep up with his physical strength and has not fully released himself. The reason is simple, the body size is too large. Hastily opening, huge consumption, difficult to control, not to mention. I will also be very hungry. At present, it is not suitable for the 6-year-old to use it as a base card. In animal form, in addition to the increase in physical strength, he can also unleash blade-like storms and slay all things by relying solely on pure sound waves. A bad wind similar to Kaido. After all, gluttony. Also known as Ro Owl, Paoxy, Ao, names are not randomly created. This is the ability that has been mined. Thirdly, it's the highlight, whale swallow. Combining, jianqing fruit, and, swallowing fruit. The reason for saying that is, he was affected by his abdomen, dantian area. It's not an exaggeration to say it's a super large space, a small world. So it can swallow all things by the sea. So as to maintain the same body shape. Bug. Even more buggy in the back. Anything that is eaten, digested, and energy is maximally absorbed. He has tried wild animals, dead and living creatures, and besides filling his stomach, he can also make Asa stronger to the greatest extent possible. Memory, physical skills, dominance, etc. dead, inefficient, can only suck a portion. But the living can basically suck up everything. His armed color comes from a fierce beast that has been slaughtered for a long time and has self-taught its dominance. Yes, no need for cultivation, just rely on eating. People are the same. However, so far, he has only devoured corpses. Read this, Asa turned his gaze to the nun who was struggling less and less. This is a living person. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 004, swallow it. Take the soul fruit. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Meanwhile, not far away, there is a short and chubby middle-aged man lying on a tree trunk sleeping, with a bird-billed nose. He stretched lazily, as if he had just woken up from sleep. This kind of day is not bad. He drew his long knife and pulled at the branches on the edge. Next, a magical scene happened. I saw the cut branches turning into chocolate bars and falling into his palm. Click. He had just bitten off half of it, propped himself against the tree trunk, plucked open the leaves, and his pupils suddenly shrank slightly. He saw it, an unforgettable scene in this life. Ah, Asa. Child. Stop it. It was just a joke. How could I hurt you? Far below, Galmero became increasingly suffocated, and his elderly body shook wildly. Don't make the same mistake again and again. And if I die, Lingling will be sad. At this moment, in the surrounding area, the plants she temporarily anthropomorphized were already crushed and disappeared under strong acid corrosion. Our Lady. You're right. Before she could make the nun happy, Asa's words made her feel hopeless. But Lingling and I are family members with blood ties. She worries more about me than you do. In the past 6 years, the emotional connection between siblings is incomparable to that of an outsider. Moreover, long pain is not as good as short pain. Galmero understood this, and his wrinkled old face immediately began to contort. The siblings are almost inseparable. Friendship is indeed unshakable. No. I'm almost washing my hands. Damn it. Yes. I can break the treaty with the world government and give you freedom. Before the nun could finish speaking, she was completely engulfed and entered an endless wave of darkness. Eliminate, decomposition, thus transforming into pure energy particles and being absorbed. Asa frowned slightly. In terms of physical assistance, not much provided. Perhaps it's because of old age and fading colors. Afterwards comes the soul factor, and the nun's soul may have been strengthened by fruit, and still stubbornly resisting in the corner. Struggling inside the body. No wonder. Asa intensified his efforts and said, Lingling swallowed your words without being influenced by your soul. That's strange. However, what is gluttony for eating? No matter how strong the struggle is, within a few strokes, it will be stirred into powder, dissolved and absorbed. Surprisingly, on a spiritual level, on the other hand, it has increased Asa's growth by a considerable 30%, and the specific feedback it brings is the improvement of 5 senses and visual perception. In addition, the pure memory of the nun also comes with it, background and experience, facial expression management experience, tips for child trafficking, talent. Holy Mother and, fruit development, after the series integration, it transformed into a book in the small world and floated onto the bookshelf. I want it, Asa can take it out anytime to see. Fusion and elimination are only between a single thought, which will not increase memory burden. Otherwise, as the absorption increases, the brain will also become more chaotic. I can't distinguish myself clearly. After all, not everyone has eaten the brain fruit of Vegapunk. However, let's not worry about it. The power of gluttony still startled Asa. His potential was so strong that he even doubted that what he ate was not a simple fruit, but rather, a strange object that blends the true bloodline of gluttony. Speaking of it, if I spit out the memories of a nun and instill them in others' minds, will the nun be resurrected in disguise? Or create a new personality? If again, stripping out experience and skills, and instilling them in others' minds, is it equivalent to being enlightened? In theory, it can be operated. But in reality, if the other party's mental strength is not high and they act rashly, it will produce a rejection reaction and make them look foolish. It's not like Asa being so perverted, swallowing whatever he wants. This let's put it aside first. There is more important. Asa sensed the soul fruit and was trapped inside him, in the small world. Rubbing and bumping, looking for an exit. But due to the power of gluttony, pulling hard, up and down is impossible to escape. If left unchecked, what would be the result? Can we escape? Or temporarily merge? Try again later. Asa focused his mind on the outside world. Left palm, open your penetrating mouth, spit out a pineapple-shaped fruit, and press it with your right hand. Strange waves surged in. Call out. In no time, the fruit undergoes changes and spiral stripes appear. A unique pink fruit transformed into a skirt shape. It's done. Asa's eyes overflowed with a gleam. Soul fruit. The soul fruit is not weak. Don't look at how easy it was for him to get rid of Pandora just now, it's because this little son underestimated him at first. Not releasing all the heat. In addition, the spiritual strength of the nun herself is limited, resulting in low performance. Otherwise, it would be a different person. Asa may not be as easy to deal with. Gullah. His stomach makes a sound, decomposing into demonic fruits and consuming a lot of energy, so he is starving very quickly. It's too scary. Is that little ghost a capable person or a monster? On a distant tree, Long Bread suddenly stood up, witnessing all of this. He covered his mouth with one hand and was somewhat incredulous. That was born, the devil fruit. How did it happen? Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 005, the contribution of Long Bread. Treasures. Food. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Suddenly, Asa in his sight turned his gaze and looked towards this side. Long Bread instantly sprouts the thrill of acupuncture. Hello. Can you find it so far? He took a step back. Immediately, he made a flexible turn and decisively jumped out of the bushes. Yes, years of pirate experience have taught him not to deal with such people. It's just that, just as it landed and had not yet run far, a thick purple mist surged like a wave, surging at a faster speed. Don't chase after me. I didn't see anything just now. The long-faced bun was already big, but I still chased after it relentlessly. His small body suddenly jumped up. Turn around, hold the knife, and swung it down suddenly. Hoo-hoo. A knife wave over 10 meters long. Tear it apart. But what is astonishing is that the purple tide only paused for a moment and then absorbed it completely. Continue to spread. Damn it. Surprisingly, even flying slash can absorb. Long Bread is even less belligerent. Stepping on a branch, it charges energy and bounces out again. Hello. A puzzled child's voice suddenly sounded, Wang Zulan. What? Longbread turned its head and its speed slightly slowed down, causing a strong force to come from above its head. Asa caught up, palm-like beast claws, with a surge in speed and power, directly grab its head, give it another shot. Shoo! That's it, Longbread's figure flew uncontrollably, falling into the purple mist without even a ripple. Yes, a careless one took the boxed lunch. Sorry. I thought he had also traveled, you two really look too alike. Asa drifted down, his tone slightly apologetic. Longbread, the future head chef of all nations. If we follow the original trajectory, he will lead Lingling, who is alone, to form a family and embark on the path of crime. Well, to be precise, it is using Lingling's power to fulfill one's desires, such as money, power, and so on, and Lingling, in the later stage, the reason why the spleen has evolved from innocence to innocence as it developed, a large part of it was thanks to this, Longbread. Of course, not now. Don't, are you going to eat me? I don't taste good, also, I am a chef, can make more exquisite food, cook delicious food that you have never tasted before. After being inhaled, Longbread, after the initial panic, felt the body disappear, and the desire for survival suddenly came up. Crazy disclosure of one's own value. No, he doesn't want to die yet. What else can you do? Asa. I can also play beautiful songs. You, as long as you like to listen. Oh. Very good. Now it's all mine. Before Longbread could be happy, the latter half of Asa's words choked him up. What? What does it mean? Before much thought had passed, the Longbread lost its consciousness, and its soul was torn apart and dissipated. Culinary major, *1, leadership guidance ability, *1, music talent, *1, swordsmanship of sword hero level, *1, dual color domineering beginner, *1, eating fruits, *1, fruit development experience, *1, personal memory, *1. The above are the things absorbed after being devoured, and the powerful swordsmanship and cooking skills are all very useful. And the temporarily unused ones were put back on the little world bookshelf. It's like making a huge profit. Asa absorbed them one by one. Moment he went from a novice who didn't know how to wield swords to a skilled swordsman. After the generous contribution of the nun, Longbread is also a good person, especially salt his most troubled problem. Eating fruits, can turn everything in the world into ingredients. Although, Asa possessed a gluttonous body and could eat anything, even stones and soil, in difficult circumstances. All can be converted into energy. But how to put it, the efficiency is too low, and there is no taste. But eating fruits is different. By examining the Longbread memory, the food transformed by this ability, it's also tasteless. But it's kind, it maintains its original flavor, tasteless, in simple terms. No seasoning added. Very light, but it's the real ingredient that can fill anyone's stomach, and most importantly it can easily satisfy Lingling, this big foodie. Schwa. In the belly world, Asa controlled his body and compressed his eating of fruits and machetes into one space. After a few minutes, outside the belly world, he let out a long breath, flipped his hands, and a curved knife covered in special stripes appeared. It's done. Swallowing the knife that devours the fruit, my first treasure. Gourmet blade. Before crossing, as a pirate enthusiast, Asa imagined that dead creatures could eat animal fruits, but it doesn't make sense that other species cannot. Nowadays, he personally succeeded in the experiment. Retract your thoughts. Asa held his sword, unable to wait, he made a cut on the ground, and as he moved, the food blade absorbed his energy, Baiyu. Meanwhile, the hole on the ground has turned into a torn cream cake. There is still a fragrance. Those little devils, you should be in a hurry too. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 006, Dream. Yewang. Set sail. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. He picked up a piece to try and found that the cake itself still had a sweet taste. But not much, it's that kind of natural sweetness. It may be added with rock sugar and brown sugar instead of hex technology, which can be extremely fragrant with a little saccharin. Still pure and natural. He chose to fill his stomach first, as for the children of the lamb house. Wait a little longer, Asa has always been efficient, and it won't take long. On the other side, from noon to evening. Time passed by minute by second, and the children of the lamb house were almost dozing off. Of course, compared to drowsiness, they feel more anxious in their hearts. The nun and Asa have not returned. Can something be wrong? Why don't we go look for it? No, didn't Brother Asa say he wouldn't allow it? I've finished my food too. They were chatting. Charlotte Lingling covered her growling belly and sat down on the grass with a thud. On her rosy face, there was a hint of worry. Lingling is hungry. Brother. Don't leave Lingling alone. Whenever Asa leaves her sight for a little longer, Lingling becomes restless and helpless. Even if there are friends around. Well, in her heart, her brother always ranks first. I've been waiting for a long time. As the sun sets in the west, a figure emerged from the forest ahead in the glow of the sunset. He ate his head. I underestimated my appetite. A small part of the forest was swallowed up completely, and of course, it was eaten and eaten. Seeing and hearing it, one could still release their emotions at any time, watching them. I was quite obedient and didn't run around recklessly. Upon hearing this sound, I see this person. Everyone's eyes widened. Lingling's reaction was the most intense. She jumped up and happily rushed towards Asa. The others also breathed a sigh of relief, but they didn't see the nun appear for a long time, and their hearts were once again in suspense. Asago, where are the nuns? Did something really happen? Fill your stomach first. I'll tell you about the nun again. Asa drew his sword and casually cut off the wooden stakes, stones, and bark on the side. In the flickering golden light, a scene surprised Lingling and everyone who came running over. Wood, turned into pieces of beef. Stone, turned into chicken cake. The bark turns into fruit. With increasingly skilled dancing, wherever the long knife passes, the cake blooms like flowers. There are all kinds of them. The children of the lamb house were dumbfounded, rubbing their eyes and suspecting they were mistaken. Wow, wow. How amazing. Lingling's eyes lit up and she said, Brother. Have you learned how to do magic? I guess so. Asa. Although the others were puzzled, they were ultimately children. They didn't have that much heart and quickly couldn't resist hunger and let go of their appetite to eat. After eating and drinking enough, the sky was already dim. Asa, I also told a well-intentioned lie to the lamb house. The nun couldn't come back, and before she left teach oneself magic. Well, he can't just say it directly. Did you eat the nun yourself? That's too dark. Sister, have you left? I won't do it. It was difficult for everyone to accept at the moment. The usual troublemaker also shed tears. Completely unaware, almost, the nuns collectively sold them. Whether it's being a slave laborer or doing something. A nun wouldn't have any sympathy. I will go out to sea tomorrow. From now on. If you want to follow, find the right person, and I will send you down. Asa was too lazy to argue with other children. Lingling is also okay, perhaps with her own intervention, feeling sad but not too intense. Are you going to sea tomorrow? Why? I will follow Brother Asa, although I am puzzled. But the children of the lamb house, for various reasons, have long vaguely regarded Asa as their leader. Now that we have recovered, there is only this choice. Late at night, everyone fell asleep. Asa sat on the stairs, leaning against the wooden pillar, and drew the future with regularity. Brother. Suddenly, a faint mosquito's base came from behind. Then a pink light flashed by and he sat beside Asa. Helpless hands leaned together. What's wrong? Lingling can't sleep. She wants to sleep with her brother. One day I won't be holding it. Asa shook his head. Speaking of this, it's also a wave of physical strengthening, otherwise, someone else will be hugged by Lingling while sleeping. Wake up in the morning, I guess it's just a bone fracture and tendon fracture, leaving only the body after all. One punch killed the giant bear, seriously injured a child of the giant clan and killed an elder of the giant clan by falling. These are not just talk. It's actually a pity to think that Big Mom is known as the weakest of the four emperors. Asa felt that she was the scariest one. In terms of talent. Almost no cultivation, reaching the level of the four emperors. If there is no longer a problem with anorexia, do not give birth in bulk, keep your figure in shape, and then change a series of bad habits. At a high starting point, work hard. Future achievements, it will inevitably reach a breathtaking level. If Asa had no capital, he could have relied on his sister to make a living. And now, under my shaping, talent will not be wasted, nor will it happen again. Asa's mind leaped. By the way, little sister. Hey. Do you have any wishes? I hope for world peace and no more abandoned children, Ling said with her hands on both sides and innocent eyes. Alternatively, we can establish a country where all people and all races can coexist peacefully together. This is also the nun's wish. She thought of the lamb's home, and because of her experiences, she had a strong sense of empathy. It's pretty good. Asa spread out his hand, a pink fruit appeared in the palm of the hand, as if shrouded in a hazy veil of light under the moonlight. With a different kind of sanctity. Then become strong first. Only the strongest can achieve everything they want to achieve. His gaze flashed a glimmer of wildness. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 007 The Waters of Totland. Charlotte Siblings. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sometimes, being suitable is the best. Soul fruit, the reason for choosing the original one is also because there is, homets, present, which can solve many problems. Confirming some conjectures. At the same time, there is also the development memory of nuns, and Asa can better guide Lingling without taking any detours. What a strange fruit. It must be delicious. Don't chew, swallow directly. Ah. Lingling didn't doubt anything. He ate everything his elder brother gave him with peace of mind, and after swallowing it she soon realized herself. I can do magic. The next day, when the Navy ships arrived, Asa smiled and accepted their navigation tools. Even without driving a boat, homets can blend in behind the boat and move on his own. Speaking of today, it's also the day when he and his little sister officially set sail. On the third day, the ship that marked the world government rushed to search and found that both the Navy and warships were missing. Then I saw a large piece of forest missing. My mood became increasingly solemn. Is that nun guy still alive? What did they do? A colonel was sent to the headquarters. He also went missing. There's no trace of him. 3 white-clad CP0s, their faces under the mask, became unsightly. Who stirred up the game? Charlotte Asa. Charlotte Lingling. Was it done by 2 children? If it is, in this era that is about to explode, undoubtedly a unique color has been added. It will also have an immeasurable impact on the future. Spring has passed and winter has arrived, and time has changed. In the blink of an eye, I don't know how many years have passed. New world, the waters of Totland. Here stands a desert kingdom, which looks very shiny just by looking at the appearance of the island. Inside, people also come and go. I heard that several pirate ships were sunk by the kingdom fleet. After all, it's a pirate. There's nothing to pity. But that's the Charlotte siblings' fleet. Searching for their wealth won't have a good outcome. That pair of evil gods. I think it's the hungry god, ahaha. In our desert kingdom, how could just 2 pirates provoke us? Humph, how many of them are there? Desert fleet. But invincible. Looking at the worried few people, a pair of kingdom guards walked ahead with an arrogant expression. It's all basic exercises. Is there anything wrong with sinking a passing pirate ship and plundering pirate wealth during leisure time? Still able to prepare for battle. That's right, the Desert King relied on having someone behind him to fight year-round, annex weak and small countries, and crazily harvest the surrounding island territories. Of course, the territory has expanded. The number of people has also increased. But problems have also arisen, such as food crises, tight finances, high taxes, etc., all of which have made people increasingly suffocated. The backlog of contradictions continues to increase. Unfortunately, they have repeatedly won battles. If you lose one game, your heart may become unstable. Talking about political affairs recklessly. Demolishing our country. I see that you guys have ulterior motives and want to incite treason, right? Let's all catch them. Among the haughty soldiers, the chief guard let out a roar of anger. Scared innocent passers-by to the point of splitting their hearts with fear. It's really unfair, but next second, what made them even more terrifying happened when a big ship suddenly flew into the air. Traveling in a parabolic trajectory, the speed is only in the blink of an eye. The sun set over the guard team, covering the sky, and then hundreds of tons of weight were violently smashed down. Puff boom. The sound of falling sounds accompanied by huge winds and waves blowing up. Looking at the bottom, captain of the guards, along with dozens of arrogant elite soldiers, they were all smashed to pieces. I can't even see the fragments. Ship. Why did it fall from the sky? What about the station ships outside the island? No alarms. Wait, are those black smoke? Was it defeated? Hey, can't you see this ship? It's Charlotte. A large number of people fled, looking at the large ship from a distance and not daring to get close. Shoo. Suddenly, a pink shadow ejected from the bow of the ship. When it lands, the huge impact force shattered the ground tens of meters away. Brother. We're here. This woman, from bottom to top. Wearing shiny women's boots, pink leggings, and a charming black belt. A loose white top and pink cape. Heart-shaped earrings. Wave-curled long hair, full of youth and vitality, that smile, plus a charming face that can make any man crazy. Let the residents of the Desert Kingdom slow down their hearts by half a beat. Even at a height of 7.7 meters, looking from a distance, it is still the golden ratio. That's the same look again. She placed her left hand on her waist, holding a giant long blade in his right hand, he plunged it into the ground and said, "They should be afraid." On her shoulder, sitting was a 3-meter black-robed man, with his hands around his chest and a face full of cracks. Especially those deep eyes. It's like being caught in it at a glance. Women, whether married or unmarried, almost all eyes were focused on him, and even some men were mixed in. In no time, someone exclaimed in surprise. Wait. They are. Charlotte's siblings. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 008, quick retaliation. Single-handedly, pick. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As soon as these words were spoken, the scene instantly quieted down, followed by the sound of panic everywhere. No one expected revenge to come so quickly. The previous second, still talking about destroying their fleet. Next second, they'll come straight to their door. And look at the smoke in the distance. And it also comes with violence destroyed the warship. It's going to be chaotic. At this moment, most people feel an invisible sense of oppression and begin to instinctively regress. Unlike before, they dare to look directly at the two people. That's right. Another group of people. Then he quickly took out two reward lists and compared them, and quickly found a match. Not like that. Yes. The two siblings in reality are even more stunning than those in the portrait. Whether it's temperament or other aspects. That's right, they are the pirate supernovae that have gained fame in recent years. Retaliation, Lingling. The year of the Yewang calendar is 1470. It has been nearly 10 years since the departure of 1459, during which both of them have made significant progress. Now 16 years old, how terrifying it really is, perhaps only they themselves know. But how could a kingdom warship be so vulnerable? I don't believe it. They must have brought a lot of people. Are you blind? You haven't even seen any other attached pirate ships. Do you want to say, it's a lone wolf? No, how dare you? If we say, in the past, residents did not have much understanding of the value of rewards, but now they are looking at the dazzling row of zeros. Only the scalp is numb. Retaliation, bounty. 660 million berry. Those who doubt the ability to swallow fruits, frequently hunt, ability, have unknown force value, or are of the intelligence type, but the threat level is extremely high. Retaliation Lingling, bounty. 600 million berry. Those with soul fruit abilities, born monsters, and giant races all refer to them as the existence of evil gods. Extremely dangerous. Being inseparable from Retaliation. Get out of here, everyone. We don't kill civilians, but those who are still in sight within a minute. Self-proclaimed unlucky. Retaliation Lingling shouted loudly, crisp and pleasant, but also very domineering. She scared away a bunch of people when she spoke. Little sister, be gentle. Asa jumped down and scanned around, only to find that he was seeing and hearing a large number of troops have already arrived. Next time, I'll be more ladylike. Lingling's momentum softened in front of Asa. Yes, a girl from another family is in a rebellious period at the age of 16, but from the Charlotte family it seems that this problem does not exist. Although there are occasional temper tantrums. But no matter when there is a cold war and it takes less than 10 minutes to reconcile, it is still Lingling who takes the initiative to admit her mistake and apologize. As for external aggression, that's because it's necessary, which can avoid many troubles. For my own brother, it's the original face. You are pirates. The Knight's Order is coming soon. The Golden Cross Knights, along with the Paladin, are both very powerful. Together, they will behead over 1 billion pirates. Only 2 of you have come. It won't be a match for this country. After the crowd dispersed, there was still a child with a runny nose next to the trash can. Dressed in rags, with a weakened physique, resembling a beggar. But the eyes are very clear. Is that so? Asa was attracted by his gaze and approached, touching his head without feeling dirty. The slug closed its eyes, thinking it would die, but when it realized it was okay, it opened again. He felt that Asa was different from other pirates. And what I just said is also true, which is also the view of other citizens. Right there. Surround me. Kill the invaders. Horseshoe and shouts of killing echoed, and at every intersection of the street, pairs of fierce soldiers surged in. But as they approached, a thick mist surged from Asa's feet, and dozens or even hundreds of people were trapped in it. Before they could scream, they disappeared without a trace. Hoo-hoo. The dense fog is still spreading, anyone touched, including horses and weapons, will sink and be digested and absorbed so it becomes Asa's nourishment. The child with a runny nose is momentarily stunned. Then wait and see, you're talking about a paladin. After all, if you can solve the people under my command, I don't think their strength will be inferior. Asa dispelled the thick fog again, and the scene became much more spacious. For the past decade, he was silently accumulating strength, and during this time, the companions of the Lamb House walked a lot, but also left behind a part of the essence. Become a backbone and distribute to various sectors, either become an elite in the business world, or enter the underground world. Playing with weapons, lending high-interest loans, engaging in shipping, organizing the warehousing industry, funeral parlors. Even newspapers and so on, they are all members of Charlotte's army, supported by Asa, targeting the giants of the dark world, developing and advancing. Of course, in order to cover up, it's a solo act on the surface. Not affiliated with Charlotte. In addition, I also developed a pirate group under my banner, but not many. I casually arranged it, but now that it's destroyed, I don't feel sorry. The true core combat power, it's still just him and the little sister. Let's come back later. Now the only fleet has been destroyed, with weak momentum and weak return, this account cannot be ignored. Exactly. Little sister, today is your birthday. Building a world is also your dream. Asa laughed, the black robe stood up without wind and said, then let's establish our country in the waters of Totland, on this land. As our long-term base in the future. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 009, compression shape. Highly controllable. Lingling strength. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Having a foundation. To support doing more, a country can help support itself, and a person can be busy running around. The two are different. The reason why, it's not time for the country to be established for a long time, even now, but some people insist on kicking horizontally. Hurry up earlier, it's not impossible. Anyway, with the initial establishment of funds, prestige, and strength, it's okay to occupy the next piece of land first. I'll listen to you, brother. Charlotte Lingling said this, but in fact, she has been looking forward to it for a long time, and now she is happy in her heart. The corner of the mouth involuntarily grinned. Be a queen. It's fun to think about it. You have noodles. Brother. We are both on the same day, and today is also your birthday. Lingling didn't prepare any gifts either. I'll give you the king's treasury. Her beautiful eyes twitched, half joking, and her red lips pursed slightly. He gave Asa a peck on the cheek. How old it is, still making this noise. Asa spoke helplessly, just as he was about to reach out and block it, his eyes twitched slightly. At this moment, Lingling also paused for a moment, her face flushed with impatience, and she turned her head to look on the other side. An uninvited offender. Two golden lights came from afar, both wielding large golden hammers, covered in strong armed colors, fiercely smashing towards this side. Even if I see a child here. Still ignoring it, he struck fiercely and said, accept the sanctions of the Golden Cross Knight. Zeus. Mom. A dark cloud emerged and quickly wrapped around Lingling's right hand. Immediately, Lingling threw with one hand, and the dark clouds burst out with a huge amount of purple lightning, rushing forward with lightning speed. Mighty drum. ZZ. Bang. This random blow, thick lightning flashed through the two people, and they persisted for less than 3 seconds before their defense was shattered. After the electric light weakens, with a loud bang. Accompanied by the clang of the golden hammer, a civilian house collapsed without any sound. It's really annoying. Lingling recycles her hands. I am very dissatisfied with the other party disturbing me. By the way, little devil, said the previous conversation with my brother. She suddenly, looking at the ant-like child in front of him, he said, those two people just said what they are. They. It's the Knight of the Golden Cross. There are 3 of you. the two strongest Golden Cross knights under the paladin. After all, the child's teeth began to tremble and his legs began to soften. He never expected it. The invincible Golden Knight, who used to be invincible, collapsed in just one go. No, he may not even be able to get up. My initial thoughts were wrong. Is that right? True water. Lingling flicked her curly hair and frowned slightly. Is it true that the so-called defeat of the 1 billion pirates actually relies entirely on another paladin? You have become stronger again. Asa was also somewhat surprised. In terms of the development of soul fruit, what he can provide is some direction of imagination and supervision. The rest is entirely up to her. Talent plus effort. The speed of progress accumulated is far beyond the reach of ordinary people. Like these two people, the strength of one person and 3 Baileys is still there, and in the current period before inflation, this value is not low. Equivalent to around 600 million in later generations. I am also proficient in dual color dominance, and when combined with all aspects of physical skills, I am at least above the rank of Major General in this department. But it was instantly dropped by Lingling. And Lingling's overall strength, it is expected to surpass conventional generals, reach the position of a reserve general, and even have the strength to collide with real headquarters generals. Of course, I haven't played it before, so it's difficult to judge. As for Asa himself, strength is naturally not negligent. This point, Lingling herself knows best. My brother's true strength is not inferior to hers at all. More terrifying than outsiders imagine. I just don't usually show much behavior. In the eyes of others it has become a military strategist and an auxiliary presence. First, let's talk about height. Full of confusion, the surface is more than 2 meters, but in fact, this is a compressed form. The true essence of the older brother is far higher than her. And this, thanks to the complete control of the fruit's ability. Yes, the illusion beast's gluttony is highly controllable. To a certain extent, it can be large or small. It all depends on the mood. In terms of fruit development level, awakening may only be a few steps away. Unlike myself, there is still a considerable gap. Physical surgery, it's not under me either, just not showing off in my daily life. Lingling has never pushed her limits. Other features have also unlocked the domineering color. 3 colors complete. Just like myself. The truly terrifying thing is swordsmanship, which reached the level of a great swordsman several years ago. Now even without a knife it can harm people from a distance. Lingling is not sure how she did it. Anyway, it was done. I don't know if it's related to fruit ability. The knife is well crafted. Only by doing so can we make better food. Asa seemed to understand Lingling's thoughts and smiled. Wow. Suddenly, in the collapsed house ahead, there was a strong cough and the sound of flipping over boulders. Cough cough. Bastard pirate. As the glory of the kingdom. As the golden knight of the cross. Defending all warriors. We don't fall down so easily. The smoke gradually dissipates. In addition to the 2 people who got up, another tall figure appeared among them. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 010, the preparation of ingredients does not require the use of a knife. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. With a cream pie on his head, wielding a spear, wearing a golden helmet, his aura reaching its peak. He is the 3rd Golden Knight. Also the strongest among the 3. Boss. As for the other 2, the Golden Knight, who was electrocuted by the Wagyu, is actually in very poor condition. The words just now were a bit tough. Pirates. I can hurt both of them. I admit, you do have some skills. But that's just a carelessness. Night Boss, holding a spear alone, aimed at Lingling from the distance and said, my greatest skill is melee. How about that? You, who claims to surpass the giant race in strength at the age of 5. Do you dare to compare yourself? It is obvious that he is pushing forward. But who is Charlotte Lingling? What I am most skilled at is pure power combat, which is so intense and slightly delayed. That's it. Haha. Ling grabbed the giant blade with a disdainful expression and said, I'd like to see if you have any tricks. Asa. Little sister. Mom. This self-proclaimed, who learned it from? It's okay. Lingling clearly misunderstood and grinned, I won't embarrass you, brother. After speaking, she leaped out. It seems like we need to pick 3 out of 1. The momentum is strong. Jump up on the opposite side. But as the 2 sides were about to collide, the long spear tip of the Golden Knight leader stirred up large waves. Like a water surface, scatter a giant mirror. Shoo. Lingling stabbed it with one knife. Discovered the blade sinking in. The interior is empty, as if there is a space of different dimensions. When she tried to pull it back again, a stronger force came from within. Meanwhile, because it's in the air, unable to take any precautions, Lingling had nowhere to lend her strength, and coupled with her inherent inertia to move forward, she was immediately thrown in. Realm World, dressed in white, a muscular man over 4 meters tall, his hands turned into sticky cakes, wrapped around a giant blade, and pushed back with all his strength. Normally, with his power, even warships can be towed. But at this point, I feel like there's something heavier than a ship. Suo Xin still succeeded. Here, where is it? Lingling, who had just entered, slowed down her momentum and gazed at the space filled with mirrors, sparkling with light, and the corridor. I am both puzzled and curious. She was hit, and in future battles, she really needs to pay attention to her diverse abilities. No need to know. Below, the sticky cake man twisted his neck and said, You just need to know, Charlotte Asa, your brother who is protecting you outside is about to die. Tell me, he originally thought the other party would get angry. But strange things, the other party just blinked their eyes, as if they didn't care. It seems. The sibling bond between you is not as strong as imagined. Ha ha ha. Success. Lord Paladin, we will treat your sister well. And there are also the elite ambushes inside, who have set up a trap, not to mention dealing with 600 million bounty criminals. No matter how high it is, there is still a chance of winning. Before this, the 3 of us will take you on your way first. The knight leader withdrew his spear and fell, while the 2 seriously injured Golden Knights, one on the left and one on the right, protected him. Get ready. Mirror fruit is actually a good thing. Seeing Lingling disappear, Asa was only surprised for a moment before showing too much expression, which made the 3 of them frown. External rumors, Asa's bounty of over 600 million is a false high, so they are confident and fearless. This guy, where did he come from? He's so calm. All right. Give way. Asa glanced at the giant castle in the distance, still holding one hand in his pocket, ignoring the 3 knights, and walked forward alone. Let me take down the head of this desert king first, and then accompany you in the battle. Humph. Put on a show. I don't even have weapons ready, I don't believe you can turn over any waves. The knight jumped into the air and pointed his golden spear directly at Asa, leading the way. Use the moon step to move, be careful of his black mist, don't worry about the rest. No problem. The other 2, upon hearing this, took the secret medicine that stimulated their potential and their skin turned red with blood, ready to cooperate and take action. But we haven't taken a step yet. He paused for a moment. I see, Asa used his free right hand, his index and middle fingers together, forming a sword finger, and waved it freely across the air. It's like expelling flies. Cheer up. A sharp roar, the leader of the Golden Knight, under the scorching sun, a golden spear shone brightly, and a white line appeared from the tip to the tail going forward, the space rippled slightly, the knight leader, who is over 3 meters tall, maintains a forward stabbing posture, revealing eerie bloodlines from the head to the chest, and then to the lower body. Next, with a thud, burst out a whole ball of blood. The whole person, along with their weapons, split straight into two halves and fell from mid-air. Before landing, his gaze remained straightforward, resolute, and brave. In other words, there was no reaction at all. True, one-click flash sale. Duh. The sound of footsteps, accompanied by a soft note ringing in his ear. Cooking ingredients. Sometimes it's not necessary to use a knife. And you don't even turn on the weapon color, how you underestimate me. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.